Hey there, and welcome to Scandal Steep, where you entertain by celebrity scandal. When the Wall Street Journal reported that former President Donald Trump was officially informed by the Department of Justice that his name appeared in the infamous Jeffrey Epstein files, the timing struck many as chilling. To some, it seemed like another headline in an already chaotic news cycle. But for others, especially those who had heard the haunting words spoken by Malcolm-Jamal Warner just weeks before his death, the timing felt almost supernatural, like the final puzzle piece of a prophecy sliding into place. Before his untimely passing, Malcolm had made a damning statement that many brushed off as mere political critique. If you voted for Trump, you voted for misogyny and hate. There's no way around that. At the time, some dismissed it as harsh, maybe even unfair. But in retrospect, those words read like a warning, a prelude to something much darker beneath the surface. What once sounded like political commentary now echoes like a revelation of the kind of behavior that would soon come to light. And when the Epstein files began to surface, confirming what so many had suspected but few dared to say out loud, Malcolm's words seemed less like criticism and more like foresight. His final public comments about Trump weren't just about politics or partisanship. They were a moral indictment of a culture and character that devalues the lives and dignity of the vulnerable. Shortly before his death, while vacationing in Costa Rica, Malcolm expressed concerns that went beyond the ballot box. He wasn't interested in debates over tax cuts or immigration policy. His focus was character, particularly Trump's deeply ingrained attitude toward women and the powerless. Malcolm believed that when you elect someone with a history of dehumanizing others, you are, by default, enabling a mindset that can lead to much more sinister outcomes. And just days after his death, those very outcomes began surfacing in stark detail. The Wall Street Journal reported that President Trump had been informed in May, months earlier, that his name was among those listed in files connected to Jeffrey Epstein's sprawling network of sexual abuse and human trafficking. Even as he made public statements about transparency and accountability, he knew that the moment the truth was revealed, his own name would be stained by association. Malcolm's warning was not some vague premonition. It was precise. He recognized a pattern in how Trump spoke about women, minorities, and the vulnerable. That same mentality, he believed, was the foundation for Trump's relationships with men like Epstein. It wasn't a stretch. It was the next logical step in a worldview built on domination, entitlement, and disregard for consent. And tragically, Malcolm never lived to see the world connect those dots. On a quiet Sunday afternoon in Costa Rica, Malcolm-Jamal Warner drowned while trying to save his daughter from a dangerous riptide. Though surfers were able to rescue his daughter, they couldn't reach him in time. The news broke quickly, and tributes poured in. Friends, fellow actors, fans, and activists remembered him for his grace, his kindness, his legacy, and above all, his voice, one that consistently spoke out against injustice. But as the world mourned, something sinister began to unfold online. Racist trolls flooded social media with hateful jokes about his death. A cruel hashtag, "Black People Can't Swim," began trending. These weren't just anonymous bots in dark internet corners. Real people with real names and faces mocked the death of a black man who had spent his life standing up for what was right. And therein lies the tragic irony. The same people who claim to care about protecting children from predators were mocking the death of a man who spent his final public appearances warning the world about one of the most powerful predators in modern American history. As racists danced on his grave, Trump, who had long been accused of minimizing or dismissing the crimes of Epstein, was actively working behind the scenes to suppress the very files that confirmed his connection. The rot went deeper than anyone imagined. After Trump's name was confirmed to be included in the Epstein files, the House Oversight Committee, despite a Republican majority, voted 8-2 to subpoena every document related to the case. It was a rare moment of bipartisan action in an otherwise divided Congress, and it shattered the illusion that Trump's defenders would protect him no matter what. Representative Nancy Mace, a Republican, led the charge. Her decision to defy Trump and demand the truth was a clear sign. The evidence was too damning, even for his most loyal supporters. What Malcolm had warned about was playing out exactly as he described. Trump's brand of cruelty and indifference wasn't just a personality flaw, it was a precursor to criminal conduct. Maria Farmer, one of the earliest victims to speak out against Epstein, testified that Trump had been a known associate. In chilling court depositions and first-hand testimonies, stories emerged of Trump's repeated visits to Epstein's properties, his presence on Epstein's private jet, and his alleged preferences for younger women. Even Epstein himself, under oath in a 2010 deposition, clammed up when asked about Trump. The man who had confidently answered a barrage of probing questions suddenly invoked his Fifth Amendment rights when Trump's name was brought up in connection with young girls. That wasn't silence, it was self-preservation. More disturbing still was the systemic cover-up that followed. In July 2025, the Trump-era Justice Department issued a formal statement declaring the Epstein investigation closed. No customer list, no further charges, no documents released. Case dismissed. And just like that, the victims were silenced once again. While the public was told that there was nothing more to see, Trump's own Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, who also served as his personal legal advisor, was seen holding private meetings with Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime partner in crime, now serving time in federal prison. Sources allege these meetings weren't about justice. They were about control. There are credible claims that Maxwell may have been offered a reduced sentence in exchange for keeping silent about Trump's role in the trafficking network. Meanwhile, Maria Farmer, the very woman whose testimony helped ignite the Epstein investigation back in 1996, was told she wouldn't have access to her own case files until 2027. The timing wasn't accidental. It was perfectly aligned with the potential end of Trump's next term, a time when the public would likely have moved on. This wasn't incompetence. This was an institutional cover-up. And Malcolm had warned us. He warned that people in power don't just commit crimes, they build networks to protect themselves. They create systems of silence and layers of insulation, and they rely on the public's apathy to keep them safe. If you've made it this far, you understand. This isn't just a story about politics or celebrity scandals. It's about justice, truth, and the dangerous systems that protect power over people. Malcolm-Jamal Warner saw it coming, and now, in his absence, the truth is finally catching up to the lies. Let his voice live on, not just through memory, but through action. If this message moved you, if you believe in holding the powerful accountable, if you're tired of watching truth be buried while victims are ignored, then this is the space for you. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay with us as we continue to uncover the truths others are afraid to tell. Your voice matters. Your awareness matters. And together, we make sure justice is not forgotten. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay awake, and most of all, stay human.